This HOA cop slapped my younger sister because she failed to comply. That's what he called it. One second, she was standing in front of our house, arms crossed, trying to stay calm. The next, his hand snapped across her face so hard her head turned, and she stumbled back a step. The sound echoed down the street. Not loud, not dramatic, just sharp enough to freeze everything. I was standing right there. I'd been home 3 days from deployment. 3. Still jet lagged, still sleeping light, still adjusting to being back in a place that was supposed to feel safe. And I watched a grown man in a black vest labeled HOA cop raise his hand and strike my sister like he owned her. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at him in shock, one hand coming up slowly to her cheek. "That's what happens when you don't listen," he said, like he just corrected a child. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. Because to understand why a fake HOA cop felt bold enough to slap my sister in broad daylight, you need the backstory. My name is Ethan Smith. I'm active duty military. I don't wear it around the neighborhood. I don't talk about it. I didn't move here to intimidate anyone. I moved here because my family needed stability while I was gone. My younger sister, Lena, lives with us. She's quiet, keeps to herself, works long hours, smiles at neighbors even when they don't deserve it. The kind of person who apologizes when someone bumps into her. And that's exactly why Rachel Whitmore, the HOA president, hated her. Rachel hated our family in general, but Lena bothered her the most, because Lena didn't flirt back when Rachel's brother did. His name was Todd Whitmore. Rachel appointed him as an HOA enforcement officer the week after he moved in. No vote, no background check, just a vest, a badge-looking patch, and a power trip. Todd started small, lingering conversations, standing too close, accidentally showing up whenever Lena came home from work. He asked her out once. She declined politely. He asked again. She said no again, clearer this time. That's when the tone changed. Suddenly, Lena was non-compliant. Her trash can was too close to the curb, her parking was improper, her walking path was restricted. Every complaint came from Todd. Every time she reported it to Rachel, the answer was the same. He's just doing his job. I was overseas when Lena told me she felt uncomfortable. I told her to document everything. I told her to stay polite. I told her I'd handle it when I got home. I didn't think it would come to this. The day it happened, Todd showed up claiming Lena had violated a temporary access rule. No paperwork, no notice, just orders. She questioned it. She asked for proof. She said she was done being harassed. That's when he slapped her in front of me, in front of our house, in the middle of the street. And as I watched my sister's hand tremble against her cheek, something inside me went perfectly, terrifyingly calm. Because in that moment, I knew this wasn't about HOA rules. This was about control. And Todd Whitmore had just made the worst mistake of his life. I moved before my sister even lowered her hand from her face. No shouting, no warning. I closed the distance in 2 steps and grabbed Todd Whitmore by the front of his vest, fist twisted deep into the fabric just below his collarbone, the cheap material bunched up in my grip as I drove him backward off balance. "Don't touch her," I said. Low, flat, not a threat, a fact. He froze for half a second, long enough to realize I wasn't another homeowner he could bully. Then panic hit him. He tried to shove me off, palms slamming into my ribs, elbows flaring out as he struggled to break free. His movements were sloppy, angry, untrained. He wasn't trying to escape clean, he was trying to hurt me and get space. Bad decision. I tightened my grip and yanked him forward instead, smashing him chest first into me and then driving him back again. His boots scraped the pavement as he stumbled, breath catching. "Let go of me," he snapped, swinging an arm wide. I slipped inside it. Still holding his vest, I turned my shoulder and drove it into his sternum, knocking the air out of him. He grunted and bent forward instinctively. That's when I struck. A short, brutal shot to his ribs. Controlled, compact. The sound wasn't loud, but his reaction was instant. His body folded and he gasped, hands dropping as his knees dipped. He tried to straighten up. I didn't let him. I shifted my grip, pulled him in, and delivered a clean strike to his jaw. Not wild, not emotional. Precise. His head snapped sideways and he staggered back, mouth open, eyes unfocused. He tried to say something, maybe a threat, maybe an order, but it came out wrong and wet. He swung again, desperate now. I stepped through it and drove him down hard, forcing him to the pavement. He hit on his side and stayed there, clutching his ribs, breath shallow and uneven. Around us, the street exploded. Someone screamed. Someone yelled to call the police. Phones were already up, recording everything. Rachel Whitmore rushed forward shouting Todd's name, but stopped short when she saw him on the ground and me standing between him and my sister. I didn't look at her. I turned back to Lena. She was shaking now, eyes wide, cheek red where his hand had landed. I stepped in front of her without thinking. "He's not touching you again." Todd tried to roll, coughing hard, one hand pressed to his side. He didn't get far. Sirens cut through the noise. Close. Fast. I stepped back slowly, hands open, breathing steady. Todd stayed down, not because I told him to, but because his body wouldn't cooperate. When the first cruiser slid to a stop at the curb, every single person on that street knew exactly what had happened. And more importantly, they knew who started it. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, like and subscribe because the story is only going to get better. The patrol cars arrived fast. Lights washed over the houses, red and blue flickering across faces that were still processing what they'd just seen. Officers stepped out already reading the scene. Todd on the ground, clutching his ribs, jaw swelling and useless, me standing between him and my sister, Lena shaking but upright. Rachel Whitmore pushed through the small crowd the second she saw the uniforms. "Oh my God, Todd!" she cried, dropping to her knees beside him. She looked up at the officers, her voice snapping sharp with accusation. "He attacked my brother. Arrest him. Look what he did." An officer raised a hand. "Ma'am, step back." She didn't. "He's HOA enforcement. He was doing his job." The officer glanced at Todd's vest, then at Lena's face. Red, swollen, a clear handprint already blooming. Another officer approached me. "Sir, are you injured?" "No," I said, "but my sister was assaulted." "That's a lie," Rachel snapped. I reached into my pocket slowly and handed over my ID. The officer looked down, then back up at me. His posture changed, not fear, not respect, just clarity. "All right," he said. "Let's slow this down." EMS arrived and went straight to Todd. He tried to talk. He couldn't. Blood pooled at the corner of his mouth. One medic shook her head. "Possible fractured mandible," she said. "Breathing's shallow. We're taking him in." As they lifted him onto the stretcher, Rachel grabbed his hand, crying harder now. "Tell them. Tell them what he did." Todd couldn't. While they worked, another officer turned to Lena. "Miss, I'm going to ask you a few questions." She nodded, then did something Rachel didn't expect. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. "I started recording days ago," Lena said quietly, "because he wouldn't stop." She handed it over. The officer watched the first clip, Todd following her to the mailbox, standing too close, commenting on what she wore. Another clip, him outside the house late at night, then texts, screenshots, threats, "You'll comply. I can make this hard for you. Rachel's got my back." A neighbor stepped forward. "I saw the slap," she said. "Clear as day." Another added, "I've got it on video." Phones changed hands again. Rachel tried one last time. She provoked him. The officer shook his head. "Ma'am, please stop talking." Todd was transported under guard. 3 days later, after the investigation, the charges were filed. Todd Whitmore was arrested for felony assault, sexual harassment, impersonating authority, coercion, stalking. He took a plea and still received 8 years in state prison, a permanent restraining order, a lifetime ban from any HOA or enforcement role. Rachel Whitmore wasn't spared. She was charged with conspiracy, obstruction, retaliation, enabling assault. She lost her position immediately, paid $85,000 in fines, and received 18 months probation, along with a civil judgment to Lena for damages. The HOA dissolved within the month, and that's how one slap meant to silence my sister ended an HOA tyrant's career, exposed a predator hiding behind a vest, and reminded everyone on that street of one simple truth: power borrowed through fear always comes due, with interest. The end.